Hello, my name is Adam Witt, and today we are going to start a new type of blog. We're going to get out of Faults in Our God and public speaking blogs, and we're going to do a countdown of 20 days till Mario Maker comes out. And I'm really excited to do this. And to celebrate the 20 days, I am going to actually count down from 20 to 1 on basically Mario games that were actually probably the best games on the face of the earth, to probably a couple of them that were just crap, just horrible, not one of the best games in the world, and whatnot, and they're going to be on the top part of the list of the 20. So, and I'm excited for Mario Maker to come out because we get to actually relive a lot of our childhood memories by not playing old school Mario games, but really get into actually, creating our own levels and actually, make our own world as far as video gaming is concerned, and that's a big deal. So, what can I say about Mario games? Mario started everything. He's kind of like the god of video games, basically, because he's the one that started it all. And it just, everything came after that. The big inspirations to really push out video games, and, either you're going to be a hot video game or you weren't going to be a hot video game kind of thing. And there were a lot of games out there that came into this world that were a big success. Let's look at Sonic the Hedgehog, Pokemon, Pac-Man. A lot of good games came out of this, inspiration theory and stuff. And then let's kind of take a look at some of the crappiest games. Hey, Bubsy. He only had a few good games, but hey, they were still okay. But we had inspiration through a lot of games and stuff like that. And it's because Mario decided to be the first one to put their foot in the door and say, hey, let's be successful here. And that is the one thing that I love about Mario, is it started a revolution. It started a very good, thing and stuff. And it started off with a very crappy game. I mean, if you really look back into history, it was, even Mario wasn't even the name of the game. It was actually Donkey Kong. It started off as that, if anybody remembers, Mario trying to go up ladders, Donkey Kong is the bad guy, and then trying to, save, the main character in the game. And then that was basically kind of it. And then we had a couple sequel games where Mario was the bad guy and whatnot, and then that storyline happened and stuff. But then we got into a real Mario game, and that was the one that started it all. The one that we all know and love, that was kind of an 8-bit game, and it was get from one world to the next and stuff, and try to save the princess kind of thing. And that was what made Mario the best thing on the face of the earth. And then after all that success, it kept making more games and gave inspiration to other people to get competitive and try to be the best Mario game and beat it, try to outwit its game and stuff. But Mario is still the top game out there that is still hot, still going strong, but it also had a few bad games here and there as well. And that's how I'm going to start the countdown, is talking about one of the worst Mario games I ever think ever existed. And it's just my opinion, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to sit there and say, Adam has a good point here. This game totally sucked ass, and, and it wasn't a real normal Mario game. It just didn't get that feeling. So let's start the countdown with number 20. Mario Missing. Mario Missing was one of those rare jewels, like Super Mario RPG, Yoshi Safari. There wasn't much of a hot demand for the game, and you could barely probably find it in stores and stuff. But then again, you can't probably find a lot of Super Nintendos in stores unless you go to a good video game store and stuff. but Mario missing was probably one of the big hot button issues when it came to it being a Mario game, because a lot of Mario games had bosses, which it kind of did, but there was more of jumping on bad guys and a variety of bad guys, and not just Koopas and trying to, solve a mystery, do little puzzles here and stuff like that, run a bunch of errands, do this, do that. There wasn't a bunch of confusion in our Mario games, and this one was one of the games that it said it was E for everyone, and I think it should have had a higher rating, morely because it wasn't the fact that it was bloody and gory. It was just really, 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 really confusing. And when I first played it, I was so underage for this game because I had to have been about like 8 years old, 7 or 8, I think at the least. And I just remember this being the first Mario game that I never beat, let alone I probably didn't even beat the first level on it because it was so complicated, and it just kind of gave me a sour taste to my mouth where it was just kind of like, oh my god, this game is like the worst game you could ever put out there and stuff, you know. And don't get me wrong, if you're a history buff or you want to have a little education into your video game, go ahead and buy the darn game. I could care less. Good for you that you found an education game, but it was way too soon for us to kind of, jump into an educational game without really having a, you know, heads up about it and stuff like that. Because let's kind of face it, I don't think educational games should be on a console game, that it should be like something you should download on a computer if you want to, or you could, back in our days, we had like those weird floppy disks, you could download them on those weird things. But to put it on a cartridge, that was really a big sin in my opinion on that and stuff, because it was just like, you look at the first 4 video games made by Mario. So you have Super Mario, then Mario 2, Mario 3, and if you want to call Lost World a game, fine. And then you had Super Mario World. A lot of action, a lot of jumping on bad guys, a lot of variety and stuff, and a lot of intensity when it comes to a lot of the stuff that we were kind of doing. And then you get this game, and it's like not even a challenge except for the mental part. So I never really cared for that game very much, and it was just one of those games that it let a lot of people down, and I think a lot of people had that expectation too, as they got this game thinking, oh, this is a good Mario game because you get to play Luigi, but it didn't really make it a very good Mario game. There was just so many things wrong with it. And to be completely honest with you, you kind of got lost from the game right from the get-go. Once you got kind of started and stuff, you didn't know really what was left, what was right, what to do and stuff. And, thank God for YouTube and stuff, because I think a lot of people, if they picked up the game today and they didn't have the walkthrough on YouTube, I think a lot of people would get pretty darn lost on the game pretty quickly. So, sorry. If I'm kind of having a bit of a cold, it's because I was kind of in the rain today doing garage sale stuff. So that's just a little tidbit on that, but whatever. So that's just my opinion. Mario missing, horrible game. And, I didn't learn anything much from it and stuff, except that it was a very bad game. So, and that's why it's on my top 20. And it's more of a fill-in and stuff, because if I were to sit out there and put in out like 20 games and stuff, it's kind of hard for me to remember like every Mario game, because I think I've actually played all of them, and there's probably about like 50 or 60 games that are out there. So it's kind of like, well, you got to start somewhere. And I wanted to have a game that I just totally hated with my living guts when it came to, a review. So I'm going to put this on there. And it's going to get a little bit, more calming, more soothing as we kind of get along into these games. And then we're going to start hitting the last games and stuff like that. And it's going to be like, oh, it's my favorite childhood memory game. So just bear with me. And like I said, this is just one of the games that I didn't really care for too much. So, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. My name is Adam Witt, and thanks for watching my blog. Bye bye.